Imagine waking up one day and realizing that you've become a prisoner of your own body, weighing in at a staggering 215 pounds. This wasn't a sudden shock, it was a slow, creeping journey that started in my 20s when I was a lean 145 pounds. A little extra money in my pocket allowed for a few indulgences, and slowly, the pounds began to pile on. With marriage came home-cooked meals, a far cry from my regular bachelor diet of junk food. The shift was gradual but undeniable. Where once my kitchen counters were strewn with empty pizza boxes, chip bags, and fast food wrappers, the change in my diet brought about a colorful array of fresh vegetables, lean meats, and wholesome grains. The aroma of spices wafted through the air, replacing the greasy, stale scent of processed food. The difference was not just in the taste, but in the composition of the meals. It wasn't just about feeding hunger anymore. It was about feeding good health. These meals were a blend of varying tastes and variety. It was a culinary journey of sorts, exploring the multitude of flavors that home-cooked meals offered. The tangy spice of a well-made curry, the comforting warmth of a homemade soup, the subtle sweetness of freshly baked bread. Each meal was an adventure that delighted the taste buds. I reveled in this newfound joy of eating, savoring flavors, and exploring culinary boundaries. However, the scales began to reflect this shift in eating habits. There was an undeniable correlation between the increased variety in my diet and the numbers on the scale. It was as if the scale bore witness to my gastronomical indulgence, the needle edging upwards with every indulgent bite. The sight of the scale pushed my complacency away, and the reality of weight gain seeped into my consciousness. An unease slowly crept in as the familiar numbers began to rise. It was a gradual increase, slowly at first, then gaining momentum. The once comfortable range numbers that seemed to mock my failed attempts at control. The mirror, too, offered no comfort. The reflection staring back was a far cry from the fit and trim image I had of myself. The physical manifestation of my indulgence was beginning to take a toll on my self-esteem. In response, I'd often take to running, seeking to balance the gained pounds. The rhythmic thump of my sneakers against the pavement was a comforting sound, a hope that I was in control of my body. The sweat trickling down my face, the shortness of breath, the muscle fatigue were all welcome discomforts. Each stride was a step towards reclaiming my fitness, my health. Yet the process was not as straightforward as I had hoped. It was a constant tug-of-war between weight gain and loss. Some weeks saw progress, the scales dipping lower, offering a glimmer of hope. Other weeks the numbers would stubbornly stay the same or even creep up, a sign that my efforts were not enough. The fluctuating numbers were a testament to the battle I was fighting, a battle against weight gain, against complacency, against the delicious lure of home-cooked meals. Over time, my base weight increased, setting normal around 180 to 190 pounds. The scales, once a tool of accountability, became a constant reminder of my failure. Complacency set in. My diet expanded to include sugary treats and desserts. The sugar-coated donuts, the creamy pastries, the melt-in-your-mouth chocolates, they all found a place in my diet. I convinced myself that these were rewards I deserved, ignoring their effects on my waistline. Eventually, the scale read 215 pounds, an alarming figure that sent a shockwave of panic through me. Yet, I shrugged off concerns, rationalizing that it was normal for weight to fluctuate. I told myself it was fine as long as there were no health issues. I ignored the tightening waistband of my jeans, the shortness of breath after a short flight of stairs, the lethargy that seemed to have become a constant companion. Before I knew it, the scale read the same alarming figure. I found myself at 215 pounds, the number echoing in my mind, a constant reminder of the path I was on. I continued to convince myself that it was fine as long as there were no health issues, the denial serving as a comforting blanket against the harsh reality. The journey from a bachelor's diet to a married man's indulgence had resulted in an unexpected side effect, a weight gain that I was struggling to come to terms with. Yet, the journey was far from over. A twist in the tale was yet to come. For now, I was at 215 pounds, convincing myself that it was fine as long as there. However, the facade of health was shattered during a routine checkup when my doctor informed me that my cholesterol and triglycerides were alarmingly high. The prospect of having to rely on medication was a shock to my system. I pleaded for a chance to rectify this through diet and exercise and was granted a 3-month grace period. Thus began my journey back to health. I revamped my diet, incorporating foods that increased healthy cholesterol and reduced the bad ones. Sugary drinks were replaced with avocados. Daily runs became a commitment, with weekends reserved for recovery and rest. The initial phase was challenging, but slowly my stamina increased. From struggling with 15 minutes of running, I progressed to a robust 50 minutes, covering 5 to 6 miles daily. The scale began to reflect the efforts, and my weight dropped back to 190 pounds. However, the scale refused to budge further. That's when I discovered the concept of intermittent fasting. This, combined with my exercise routine, worked wonders. My waist size reduced from 36 to 30, my BMI fell back into the lower 20s, and my weight dropped to 150 pounds. Despite a few minor setbacks, I've managed to maintain my weight around 155 pounds. Today, I am not just leaner, but also healthier, more energetic, and happier. This journey has taught me that health is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. It's about making sustainable lifestyle changes, being patient with your body, and celebrating every small victory. It's never too late to take control of your health, and every step taken towards a healthier lifestyle is a step worth taking.